All right, welcome in to Fitness Fanatics. It's Sunday, May 8th, and we started off the show by wishing a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there listening. Um, the only mother that is a reg on the ticket, which would be Nicole. So, no other mother is on the ticket,
on the air,
has her own show once a week at least. She is the only one. So,
am I bringing up or down the average? I don't know.
what do you mean?
On
You're
the
bringing
ticket.
up the average. If it wasn't for you, there'd be zero moms. So we're bringing up the average.
Yeah.
So we were trying to find, okay, what mom can we have come in and talk about being a mom and exercise and taking care of herself. And then I was like, okay, well, we have a mom, Nicole.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that in the second hour. But to start off, we're joined in studio by Peter Ferguson, who has a show just before ours called Bigger Than the Score. So if it's something you haven't checked out, please encourage. Every week he has scholars from the Lincoln School District. I mean, kids as young as 8, 9, 10, high schoolers that come in. And I mean, it's good to hear that we have a good future of youth.
We listen on the way here. And every time I'm always like, well, now it's time to listen to our future.
Right.
That's what I think
Yes,
every time.
Yes.
Yep.
So you turn on social media and you act like, my gosh, is there anybody smart in this world? And then then you tune into Bigger Than the Score and you're like, oh my gosh, we do have some good youth here. So we appreciate him. And he's also doing the 10-week challenge. So we're going to talk about his 5-week testing results here, a little accountability segment with him. But we wanted to start off and encourage you to text into the show 402-464-5685, Starter Heyman text line. Just real quick, we're going to go around and talk about some food memories from your mom, right? So like if you have any, like for me, I was blessed to have 2 moms. My parents got divorced. You're like, oh, that's a blessing. Well, I mean, looking back, it's a blessing because I had a second mom and I had 3 new sisters. And without all that happening, I probably wouldn't have met Nicole, so all those things that happened because of that. But so I'll kind of start, kind of my couple things is we always had homemade pizza on Saturday night, always. So that was kind of a thing that, I'd always remember. And then when we get home from church, Nancy would make breakfast. We'd have eggs, bacon, pancakes after church. So it's kind of like a brunch. And then one other thing too was we had an old popcorn machine where you turn the noise on. And when I heard that thing, I knew we were having popcorn. So that was kind of a memory also. Like an air popper. Yeah. So she'd have this big yellow bowl that she'd fill up with popcorn.
And also the puke bowl, right?
Yeah, puke bowl.
Yeah.
The puke bowl and the popcorn bowl were the same thing, right? I mean, we all have those.
That's a special household.
Special household,
yes.
Yes.
That's very common.
So half the popcorn would go to the dogs, right? Wow. Half of it dumped on the floor for the dogs. I think that's why the bowl was so big, right? And then I'd come in with my little bowl and, can I have some? And get popcorn. And then, when my mom, whenever I go over to her place, on the weekends, I grew up living with my dad. She'd always make me like French toast and it was just so good. Wow. So appreciate those memories. We were watching Top Chef, which is one of our favorite shows. And they were bringing up like, of course, their stories were like, oh, in the kitchen in India, I remember all these smells and spices. I'm like, well, I don't really have those types of memories, like cooking with my mom in the kitchen, like making this and that. So Pete, what's one of your memories, food memories with your mom?
You know what? First off, happy Mother's Day. And Nicole, happy Mother's Day to you. I think the cool part about the show and the ticket is it does have one of the highest, I think, talking to Harrison, number of females that are doing shows. Yep. So potential future mothers.
Yeah.
So just wanted to say that we have a number of scholar athletes and a large female presence at the ticket. But happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you. Thank you for flowers.
Hey, not a problem. Well deserved. reserved. That's so you take it easy on
I'm
me.
glad somebody got it.
Yeah, I mean,
so I appreciate it.
Didn't want to make you look bad. There's going to be a bow on a vehicle outside when you walk out, Nicole. He's just got to step out for a quick minute. For me, we talked a little bit about this earlier on Bigger Than the Score, but for me, I'm going to make a transition. Miss Alita M. Ferguson threw down pecan pie. Mm-hmm. I still to this day will not eat anybody else's. I mean, I'll eat a snippet of it.
Not to be rude.
Well, I don't really care because it's I don't want to offend my mom. But pecan pie is. I remember she would make it, and I just would just eat the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And so when I like Thanksgiving, she would make me my own. Nice. And then like holidays, she would just make my own because she knew like I wouldn't ration myself on it. And my metabolism was a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But when I went to college, I mean, one of the best things was when she came up, because I played basketball, wasn't able always to get home for every one of the holidays. I would see that tinfoil and that pan, and I knew what it was. And it was the caramelized was just right. And I'm not a real texture person. And so like it just has to be just right. It wasn't overly gooey. I knew the amount of time to put it in the microwave just to get it to that right spot right there. So, Alita M. Ferguson's pecan pie was on point. I'm sorry, these other institutions that sell them during different days. Nice effort, nice try. You tried to get there. But that's my vice right there.
Nice. All right. Harrison, how about you?
Prime rib. The good old prime rib for Easter and Christmas every year. My parents, they go all in on it. Shout out to my Mother's Day. She's the head chef. Don't get me wrong. She's the head of the operation, but my dad helps out too. But no, they wrap it up, get it all seasoned, keep it soaked for, a couple days just in the fridge marinating. And then, every year we have that prime rib that my mom, she's got down to a science. Like every year it's always so funny. Wow. She's like, could this be better? I don't know. And every year we're just like, just stop, don't touch it. It's perfect. Like you've mastered the art form at this point. But just that, the fried chicken, just this, she had so many meals. And that's what we talked about before. Like if she wants to get everyone to the table, she's got a few weapons that she can use to get everyone there. Like she's got an arsenal of ways to get everyone down. And just really good at getting the family together, just to sit down the few times we did. And especially when Dad was working on the farm, trying to get that guy who's just working all the time. You throw a good meal on the table, get all the brothers in, get my dad, my mom in. So just a great mom, family oriented, really good job just getting everyone there and just awesome cooking. I can't say that I was in the kitchen with her cooking, but definitely they're eating it. So
All right. One other thing for us is we, this doesn't happen very often now, but growing up, my stepmom, we'd have dinner, sit down dinner at the table every evening. We'd have pork chops, our protein, vegetables, potatoes, something. So that was kind of all the different foods that we had, lasagna that, she cooked with me growing up, so those types of things too. But that's kind of something that's missing is sitting down at the table because we're all busy. Nicole and I, we're never home in the evening. So, it's rare that we're sitting at our table eating together. No. Now we're just like, why would we do that? Let's go watch TV.
Yeah, we eat in the living room. Yeah. We're not TV. We're not table.
But so those were some good memories until the family meeting started. With the family meeting, with the notebook, those weren't good memories.
They dupe you with the good food, and then all of a sudden it'd be like, okay, now your report card all of a sudden gets slid over between the macaroni and cheese and the roast beef. You're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Kind of the old bait and switch, right?
Yes.
All right, Nicole.
We didn't have a lot of traditional sit-down dinners. We kind of grew up, didn't have a lot of money, so I grew up on a lot of convenience foods. We were talking about it in the car, like Hamburger Helper, things that you don't realize until you're older. Like we would have pizza boats. That was always really good, which is like pizza on a hamburger bun and baked in the oven.
Yeah, that was a staple.
They were really good.
Yeah, they did have those at school.
Yes. But there is one that I remember because we grew up in Iowa. I grew up in Iowa. My mom and dad both too. But a couple of my aunts had lived in Omaha, and so they had kind of brought runzas to Iowa, like we kind of knew about runzas. And so I do remember my mom making homemade runzas, like getting the bread, proofing it, making the filling. And to this day, like runza can't even compare to those homemade runzas. Like I can't even eat a runza because it's not the same as the homemade runza.
Cool.
So that one was a good one. I also remember anytime we had ice cream, I only ever got 3 scoops. That was kind of a memory. It was always 3 scoops of ice cream, and that's it. So that's the other kind of food memory when we'd have ice cream. 3 scoops, and that's all. So,
right. So now when we get we don't limit them to scoops.
right. And it was always Neapolitan ice cream, which is the worst.
Yes.
Neapolitan.
So,
and nobody wanted the strawberry, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like you just start scooping around. It's like,
just
okay,
a big sliver.
Yeah.
No, they put it
strawberry.
together for a reason. Now you're up here trying to separate it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, obviously, all of my food memories really are family get-togethers where we would have family meals with extended family and stuff like that. But my parents were really young parents, and so they were just trying to get by. So we didn't sit down a lot to eat dinners together, but we always had food. So that's
having food, that's the main thing.
I mean,
right?
it is. Yeah. So
nobody in here starves.
No.
No.
Yes. Yeah. So
all right. So again, happy Mother's Day. What we're going to talk at the top of the hour when we get to the 10 o'clock about being a mom, exercising, priority, that type of thing. What Nicole's kind of done we have a daughter that's 20. So talk about her kind of journey as a mom and fitness. So we'll get into that at the top of the hour. For the next few minutes, so we want to talk to Peter about his results. So he just did he's doing the 10-week challenge. We just wrapped up week 5 yesterday. Got our body composition done, measurements, push-ups, sit-ups. So Peter, want to kind of get your thoughts on how the first 5 weeks of the 10-week challenge is going, questions, comments, concerns you have for the owners of Farrell's that are sitting out with you. So what do we got?
No. First off, I just I want to thank you all. I specifically want to thank Harrison to just kind of start off. I think it was early on I was doing this, and you all do a phenomenal show. But I had just asked him, what kind of was the whole deal and what was it about? And he said he had done it. And, I was kind of in a mode where I was like, let me see if there's something to do, whether, honestly, beach body, whatever else. I've done different things. And coming in, there's not the judgment or whatever, but I did need some accountability. It wasn't that I hadn't worked out in the past or wasn't. It just, that discipline was just kind of not there due to just various other things. And so, appreciate just the atmosphere and just the environment that you provide. And it's not over the top. I don't need to be talked to on everything and get in every group chat message or whatever, but it's simplistic, it's straightforward, and it's there. And it's either you do it or you don't. And, but there's support there if you need it and just the right amount. And so that's been good. I'm not ready to put on this medium shirt yet. And to show the ab to the world, as I walk across the street to Target or coming to the station. So it's, I still have some work to do, admittedly. But that being said, I've been okay. Like I feel better. My goals, I've kind of maybe transitioned as I've just gotten a little bit older of just like, okay, this is what I want to do. And, where I used to lift and, 2 hours and this is the results I need to see and this, that, and the other. I really want to just get to something that I can maintain, that I can do with or without, and I don't want to say I'll ever be without you all, but that I can maintain and do with the lifestyle that I have, that I need to do. And people say, I want to extend my lifespan and this, that, and the other. You're not promised tomorrow by any means. And so, I could work out and get in the best shape and tomorrow something tragically happens, this, that, or the other. But I want to be able to maintain and be comfortable to still be who I am. So
like balance.
Yeah, the balance, but also it's just, it's manageable.
Yeah.
It's manageable for me. So I felt okay. There were some areas, but I also know where I needed to improve and some things that I didn't do. And that was on me. That's not on the program. That's not on the individuals that are there. And so, that's not on Mark and his mom. They've been phenomenal. So that being said, I don't know what the average looks like, but I also have gotten to the point I'm not comparing myself to others.
People do ask that a lot. Like, you can't compare. There's no average because you're comparing apples and oranges and pears and tomatoes, and you know what I mean? Like everyone came into it at a different fitness level. Everyone has their own, conflicts outside of the 45 minutes they're in the class. Everyone has different goals. Not everyone has aesthetic goals, weight loss goals. So we don't really even say that there's an average, because it's really
that's tough. I tell my wife that, like, I'm not going to compare myself to Tay Diggs, and I won't compare you to Beyonce.
Right.
I mean, like, we cannot, like, let's not do this to one another. No, I'm just playing. No. You're like, your house is a hot mess. So no, it's been good, but it's also the accountability. If I had an interest, like my daughter graduated last Saturday.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't able to make class. There's priorities. And you say, no one's special, but I always tell people this is the deal. There's special moments and there's special things. And so you treat yourself in a special way to ensure. So I agree with what you said, but I also put a twist on it that I also say you need to make sure that you're special in engaging in the things you need to do.
Absolutely.
But I got home after we moved her, drove the U-Haul, and I did the virtual workout that evening.
Yeah.
And that for me was like, I was thinking about it during the day. I was like, okay, can I get it in? Can I get it again? I had a procedure, colonoscopy. I had to go get another one. And so I was like, okay, how do I space this? Of like, okay, and I'm sorry about personal business, but I mean, I do encourage everybody to go get their checks and do, AD's been on here and we've talked about that, but it was like, can I get my, how do I get my workout? And I didn't miss that workout that week because I was able to schedule it, but I wasn't coming to class.
Right.
And you'll thank me for that.
Yeah.
But so those are the type of things. So result wise, this helps me on that accountability, and I'll let you all kind of report out, and I'll tell you where I slipped and where I felt good about.
Right. Go ahead. You have
so Peter lost 10 pounds. He went down 1.6% body fat.
In 5 weeks. I mean, that's,
the perspective I want.
See, that you have one of my friends, Alvarez, gonna call it. He goes, "You little chubber."
Yeah. No, it's 5 weeks of real life.
Yeah.
Right.
Too.
Most people quit stuff after a few weeks, right?
Yeah.
And they're done. So they never give themselves a chance to really get that ball rolling to see results. So, I mean, anytime you can lose fat, whether it's 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, that's a huge success. Like you dropped 8 pounds of fat off your body. Okay. And I had the little pound of fat that I showed you.
Yeah, you gave me. I thought it was a gummy bear. I've been hungry, so I about bit into that sucker for a quick minute.
It did look like one of those Willy Wonka big gummy bears, right?
Oh, you got this from Vegas. Let me go ahead and take. Oh, now other people's hands have been on this.
Yeah.
So, any success, what we try to tell people, is a win. Whether it's if you lost, a lot of people, most everybody lost fat, gained muscle, dropped body fat.
I didn't have anybody that didn't have that in some aspect.
So but we're caught up in the Biggest Loser society, right? Like, they can lose 30 pounds in a week. Well, why can't I do that? Well, because we have real life happening. And if you can go when your fitness journey, we'd rather have you be 70-80% consistency over a long period of time instead of 100% all in for 3 weeks and then 3 months of 0%. Right. You're going to reap the benefits more the more consistent you are, not being perfect. Because we have lives, right? We have a daughter graduating from college. We would never expect you to say, all right, Peter, you can't go help her move because you have to get to class to do a workout. Right?
I'd have been okay with that because some of that stuff was heavy.
Like,
Harold
told me,
all right.
Stay home, don't come help.
I sent that in the text message. I gotta, go do it. No, but I've appreciated you all because I'm just gonna be. I'll be real transparent. The first class I tapped out. There was about 10 minutes I don't remember. Thanks for coming to check on me in the bathroom. And Crystal, really appreciate everything that you did that day. It was a full class. There was one brother missing and there was no APB put out. But I was, part of it was just the anxiousness. Part of it was getting everything put together. This week wasn't probably my best, and it wasn't just from an ease. It was just like I was in class and I just had stuff going on, and I was making up combinations. I'm not gonna lie. I think Friday, somebody probably was watching me for 3 minutes. You know it's bad when somebody comes over and it's like, yeah, it's punch, hook, upper, then kick. I'm like, and like if they come over after about 2.5 minutes, you know you've been doing some just strange stuff where you're just like,
I know.
When I was like, oh, thank you. How long have you been watching me? She's like, no, it just looked like you needed some help. Like they did that 2 days this week, so I knew my mind wasn't quite probably processing everything. So I love that. I've enjoyed that aspect, and I've appreciated it.
And your not bag partner, but what's really cute is Peter has, Joni kind of saves the spot.
Oh, okay.
No, Jody knows I'll roll in,
but she's been gone.
So I've had to get there early because I need to be in the back.
Right.
You don't need to see this hot mess up there demonstrating stuff. And the instructor, because you called my name out the first day. You were like, yes. Like I got Paul Peter. I'm like, she's like, I'm not going to embarrass it.
I
Peter.
call you Pete, but yes.
You said twice that first day. So Joe, no, I've appreciated her, but it's made me get there at like 10 to make sure I get my bag.
That's funny.
And she's been in Mexico.
Yes, she has been. So safe travels for her and everything.
Yeah. So, and then there was
going on the results here.
Oh, okay. So went from 29 push-ups to 46. So increased by 17 push-ups in 1 minute. Sit-ups went from 23 to 34. So that's almost like a 50% increase, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you increased on your flexibility. Looks like you lost 1.5, 4, 5, about 7 inches.
Yeah.
Total.
And that's 5 weeks.
In 5 weeks.
Yeah. And we were talking about sit-ups before the show. Like you said, you're a little disappointed, but you had your numbers like reverse. You're like, oh, I only went up 1. The thing with sit-ups, like if people can think back to day 1, at the end of that minute, I always, when I'm doing testing and my orientation, I'm always like, if I had $1,000 bill and you had to do 1 sit-up to grab it, a lot of people couldn't do 1 sit. Like you're just, I can't reach it.
Yes.
But at 5 weeks, usually at the end of the minute, you just run out of time. Like you're going, and when we say time, you're still going.
Like you could do more.
You could do more.
Yeah.
So you could do more. You just run out of time. But now, if I held that $1,000 bill up, you just snatch it.
Yeah, I find a way.
Yep.
No, I just want to say I do. I appreciate y'all, and like I do feel better.
Yeah.
Like it starts my day. I come to the 5 a.m. Get up at 4. It takes me probably about 15-20 from where I live to get there. And so looking at that, I think the strength for me is, I feel better. I feel stronger. I can feel that change just physically, which is nice. I think if you don't feel that, I think that's where some people get disheartened. Let's just be real about it. You want your physical appearance to change a little bit. But I think the one thing, for me, the eating, it's, again, full accountability. That's been the area that I haven't just like stuck to. I've changed my eating habits. It hasn't been like, okay, categorized. I was like, let me just do one thing at a time. Let me start 1 week, finish the class. Second week, okay, make sure you're eating breakfast. Third week. And it's not the program, but it's also the things that I know that I'll carry with me after 10 weeks. And so now like my next 5 is really like, okay, like managing that piece. Again, other people said like hand to mouth. What does that look like? And so it was portions more so than anything else.
Right.
So now you're active, less portions. Like obviously I'll get some results because the portions aren't there and I'm also more active.
I mean, you got results in week 5, not being 100% compliant on nutrition, which is totally fine. Your body doesn't know that this is what you were supposed to do. The only thing your body knows is that your health is improved in the last 5 weeks. You're more physically active. You're more aware of what you're eating. So you're still seeing results. So that's great. That's a win. And like you said, if you can just continue to carry that through for the next 5 weeks, you can, continue to see changes.
Yeah. And we talked, like you guys had an event at Mary Ellen's. And we were talking about that, and you were just really worried about it.
Yeah, like week 1 or something.
No,
right
just
away?
like a couple weeks.
Well, we had another one. No,
one.
Mary Ellen's has been the vice for like the first week I had 2 speaking engagements, and they were like at both.
Yeah,
and then it's like every week, like traffic. Mary Ellen's great place, food for the soul.
Yes,
but
we talked about it how you ate there, but you didn't eat to the point where you couldn't breathe afterwards,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Like you had some wings and you had, you just, instead of having 15, which I know is easy to do because we've eaten there, and it was like literally one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life was one of those the chicken wings.
It's a food memory.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a food memory right there. But instead of eating like I did that night at the ticket event, where I'm just like I can't breathe afterwards, you limited it.
Yeah.
You still had that, but you had a little bit of self-control. So
Well, and I appreciate you all. I mean, again, the environment, just like I said, you're welcoming when you come in, but I also, it's not for those that are kind of concerned as like it's over the top and they're drilling in and this, that, and the other, that's just not where I just tell people I'm not at it in my life, but there's a balance of some where you do get to walk in and Joni's there. AD walked in the other day. I don't think he did too much of the workout because he was like shaking people's hands. And like I saw him go back to the water fountain like 6 or 7 times. Oh, it's hot in here. I'm
classic AD.
Like, dude, AD, you wore like 16 layers of clothes. I mean, like maybe take off a sweatshirt or two. I mean, I know it's all designer wear, but let's slow ourselves down. But so that has been great. So if people are looking for an option, I think the first thing you always say, and I love that, is just get active. Out of everything, get active. And then, like I said, you all definitely provide just different levels of that and consistency and opportunity. So right now, I definitely highly recommend you and one of your 2 spaces that you have.
All right. Awesome. Well, we are up against the break. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Again, Peter Ferguson with Bigger Than the Score is on from 8 to 9. If you missed it, you can always check it out on the ticketfm.com on our podcast page. We are under Ticket Weekend, so check it out. So we'll be right back. I got an amazing story for my trip to Kansas City that you guys will love. So we'll be right back on Fitness Fanatics.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our handcrafted, locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose between getting medicine or groceries? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by American Food Bank Strong and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the plane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
StopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light Council.
I always had to be so good. Car path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling. The limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at paperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as sergeant. Our motto in that role is "My job is people, everyone is my business." But unfortunately, in that year, my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Guns securely help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
From the first pitch of a late-night Little League game to the sweet taste of frozen treats, LES powers all of life. Moments for only $2.88 a day. Learn more at les.com/value.
Old School with DP and J.
You could say that, I don't mess with coach. I was asking, do you want to play pros? 99 out of 100 say yeah.
There you go.
If you think that you're going to go to the NFL and you think every coach you play for is going to be hunky-dory with you, don't even play. Let alone flip it. If you think every coach is going to like you, you sadly mistaken.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next. Talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Hold on, just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 theticketfm.com.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. Shout out to our sponsor, Integrated Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time, days, evenings, and weekends. If you're interested, you can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So big shout out to Integrative Life Choices. Becky Moratsky, one of our members and instructors. Nicole just ran with her this morning.
Yep.
Little 4-mile Mother's Day run. I was gonna go, but I figured I just I figured I'd let the moms take care of it. Like I didn't want to jump in and be the dad.
I think that's a considerate thing to do.
Right?
It's their day. It's not your time.
It's their time, yes. So they could chat about mom things and so I think, was that nice of me?
No.
It wasn't?
Not why you didn't run.
All right. So we were not on the air last week. We did the Lincoln Half Marathon, which we'll talk about that here shortly. Kind of what we thought, how we did, how we felt after. But a couple of weeks ago, I told you guys we were going down to the Orioles game. We were going to see 2 games. So my son, Ben, and I drove down to Kansas City. We stayed at the Hotel Lotus, which was right across from the stadium. Harris, I don't know if you're familiar with that hotel.
I'm not familiar with it. I feel like I probably drove by it.
Okay, so there's.
I thought it was like the Drury Inn.
It used to be the Drury
Oh,
Inn.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But now it's the Hotel Lotus.
Just
okay, it rings
right
a bell.
across
Okay.
from the
So there's a Denny's restaurant that's right there too. Big popular eating place for after Chiefs games, Royals games, that type of thing. So anyway, we got down there. We went to a night game. The Orioles lost. In fact, they didn't even reach second base until the 9th inning. So that was like their worst performance of the year. They'd scored like 11 runs the night before, and then they didn't even reach second base. And I thought I was like watching the 27 Yankees, like the Royals. They pitched out of their minds. It was crazy. So they lost. So that was kind of a bummer.
Yeah. And the Royals are
not great.
No, in fact,
they're horrible.
Jake Sorensen texted me during the game. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what do I owe money? What's happening right now? Why is Jake texting me?" And so I opened the text, and he was like, "You need to go to these games more often," because he's a Royals fan, or and they had only won one game at home.
Yeah, they were doing bad
until that night, and we're just like, "This was just terrible." We kind of sat out in the outfield right next to the Orioles bullpen. We didn't catch any, no home runs were hit to our section. I tried to get one of the backup catchers to throw us the ball between innings. They were playing catch in the outfield. He looked at us, literally looked right at us, and then just walked back in there. Like, "Hey, thanks for the ball, buddy."
Well, they were grumpy, probably.
Okay, so we go back to the hotel. And the game Thursday was a 1:00 start. So, but we were pretty tired, so we went to bed. Well, at midnight, we wake up to fire alarms in the hotel, just going. I mean, loudest noise you'll hear. And the funny thing about this is, my son, like I kind of, and I took like a sleep aid, because when we're in a different place, it's hard for me to fall asleep. So not a sleeping pill, but like a melatonin or whatever. So I'm kind of waking up at midnight. I'm hearing these alarms. I'm like, what the heck is that? And my son he's like, "Alexa, off. Alexa."
Oh, no.
He said it like 3 times.
Because that's his alarm at home.
Yes.
This is Alexa.
I'm like, "Ben, it's not Alexa. It's the fire alarms." So, we didn't
to turn off the
we didn't feel it.
That scares me a little about the next generation.
Yeah, right.
That scares me a little bit.
It took a while.
Yeah. Didn't feel any heat. Didn't, we're just like, why are these fire alarms going off? So I looked out the peephole and I didn't see anything, So I'm like, okay, well, we better get dressed, right? If somebody's going to bust in our door to get us out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Ben, let's get dressed." So we packed up all of our stuff, and we had the curtains shut like really tight, because before we went to bed, I was like, "Ben, I don't want any light coming in this room." Like, we were like, the Denny's was 10 feet from our window.
So you got the fluorescent lights
like
through your window.
all the stuff.
Yeah.
So we had it just, just tight where you couldn't see anything. And I was like, I don't know why I was worried to look out the window, but I was like, I probably should look out the window before we head out. So I opened the curtains. The whole Denny's is on fire.
Oh my God.
10 feet from our window.
Like your room lit up orange right, when you opened the window.
Lit up orange. Right. The whole restaurant up in flames, like 6 different flames coming out of the roof right in front of us. We were 10 feet from the Denny's. There's like a 10-foot walkway, like a sidewalk, and then some grass.
An alley or something.
An alley,
maybe.
yeah. And then the Denny's, the whole thing on fire. Probably 10 fire trucks outside.
And you couldn't hear any of that?
Didn't hear anything.
That damn melatonin.
I was out. It worked, yeah. So shout out to melatonin.
I guess.
And we had a fan going to kind of drown some noise.
Jeff is a very finicky sleeper.
But yeah, so the Denny's was on fire, and we had already packed up our stuff to head out. So now, and what also was funny was, our son was Snapchatting with his buddies about this. Mm-hmm. So when we first got there, he took a picture of the Denny's. It's like, look, nice. What a view.
Right.
Right.
Because
if we were on the other side of the hotel, we would have seen Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead Stadium. We could be able to look out our window, and that would have been our view. But our view was Denny's because we're on the other side. So then, we're looking out the window, and he takes a picture of the fire from our window. It's just a 10-foot blaze of fire.
So you're saying the whole building's just up in flames.
Whole building's up in flames.
Like,
the whole
Denny's. If I Googled it right now, it's like a burnt building. It's not salvageable.
Gutted.
Denny's fire, Kansas City.
Yeah.
Their news was out there. It was a huge thing. It's a total loss. But he's snapping his buddies, and he's like, the Denny's burnt down, WTF, like these are the snaps he's doing.
Alexa, stop. No.
Yes. And this was at midnight.
The best part.
So Nicole was at home, obviously. And I mean, I wasn't going to text her or call her.
Yeah, you guys were fine.
Yeah. So we went outside into the parking lot, which we were out in the parking lot till like 1:30 in the morning. So we stood out there for about 90 minutes. And there's, they have ladders just dumping water on the Denny's, and I mean, so the fire. Oh, what was also what was interesting was we weren't going to get in the elevator, obviously, to go down to the first floor. So we went to go to the stairwell, and I opened the stairwell, and there's like 5 firefighters in the stairwell. And I was starting to think, like, why didn't anybody knock on my door? Like, is there anybody in here? Like, nobody knocked on our door. We just figured this out on our own, right?
By opening the window.
By opening the window and
fire alarms.
I kind of could smell, just like, when you start your furnace for the very first time in the winter, you have that heat smell where it's like,
all the dust is burning.
Yeah, something's on fire. Right. I had that smell when I went over by the window, but I thought maybe it was like, the air conditioning, units to first, or the fan. So I unplugged the fan. I'm like, maybe our fan's smoking or whatever. So there were all these. I was like, well, hey guys, like, didn't know what was going on. So then I go outside, and everybody from the hotel's out in the parking lot. They're going to put the fire out. It's 1:30, and she's like, well, we have rooms, all these rooms say reserved at
other places,
other hotels. And I'm thinking, the reason I stayed here was so I could walk to the stadium. I don't want to have to pay $30 for parking and drive. And so they were like, well, you go back to your room and stay, or you can go somewhere else. And we're like, we're going back to the room. So
the fire was out.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't out. It was just contained.
Controlled.
Yeah.
They made sure that, it didn't spread to the attic of the hotel or, so we went back into our room, and we didn't smell it. There was no smoke in our room or anything like that. So it just smelled like the room.
You did say the fire cracked the window, though. Your window?
Yeah, it cracked we had 2-pane window for our room, and it cracked the outside glass.
Just the heat from radiating off of it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's how close it was.
So it could have just blew into our room, and I wouldn't have known. I mean, if the fire alarms wouldn't have gone off.
The fire alarms did their jobs.
But
and your car was covered in soot, which I don't think you still have washed.
Car's covered in soot.
At least it wasn't on fire. I'll take soot over getting scorched and not working.
Well, and then so the next morning, this is really strange. So the next morning, we're heading out. We left our car parked there when we went to the 1:00 game, and there was this couple in the elevator. So we got on the elevator with this couple, and they're like, I was like, so you guys managed to get some sleep last night with the fire? And the guy's like, what fire?
Oh my God.
I was like, the Denny's burnt to the ground right next door. They had no clue.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's crazy.
There were fire alarms going off. The hotel got evacuated. Guy had no clue this happened.
So he had a melatonin too.
Oh, he must have had
something.
a couple.
Yeah.
Or maybe something else that knocked them out. But he had no idea. And I'm like, the Denny's burnt to the ground right next door.
Literally.
And he had no clue. And then when we checked out, the lady was like, she's like, well, some people said they didn't hear the fire alarm. I'm like, I don't know. It was really loud it wasn't in our room. It's just in the hallway.
I wonder if they had a floor where it wasn't going off.
That's scary.
Liabilities. I mean, good thing nothing happened.
Yeah.
So they don't have anything out their hands, but
but it was
scary.
Just, it was crazy. So the Denny's burnt down. That was kind of one of those the stories that you're like, why is this happening? The one time we stay at this hotel for the very first time in our lives, and we're dealing with a fire. We're outside, and it was just it was pretty surreal. And even I was talking to Ben about this earlier this week, and he was just like, I'll just never forget when I opened those curtains. I'm like, Ben, the Denny's is on fire. And he's like, what? Looks out, and it's just flames just going everywhere.
Yeah.
And we walked by there on our way back from the night game, and
you were going to eat there that
we were
morning.
Thinking about eating. Yeah, we were going to eat breakfast there in the morning. So then we ended up going to the Waffle House, which it was the topic of discussion there because some of the waitresses were like, "Oh my gosh, did you see this?" They knew the owner.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom worked there. I mean, it'd been there for like 36 years.
But good news is, then the Orioles won the third game. They won the series.
Yep,
so
Orioles won.
Orioles
won the last game. They got up 8-1 in the bottom of the third. We were chilling, relaxing. Then the Royals came back, took the lead 9-8 in the bottom of the seventh, and then the Orioles ended up winning 13-10. But what else is interesting is, I'm sitting. I let my son buy. He bought the tickets for the second game, so we sat front row, right by the third baseline.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we were right close to the players, and there was this guy there from Baltimore that, I could hear him talking to people behind us, one of those know-it-all type people. But I found it interesting that people in the stands like yell and complain and in baseball, some Royals fans were like complaining to the third baseline. Wilson's this guy's name. Wilson is the third base coach. And for the whole game, they're just, blah, blah, blah. Well, this Orioles guy every now and then would walk to the dugout, put his hands in the dugout, and was hollering at the coaches, the managers, like, pull the pitcher. It's like, what are you doing?
And at one time they were like, you need to sit down.
Yeah, you need to sit down. So it was really funny. I'll wrap this up. Yeah. When after the game, we walked back, we got our car, we were leaving the hotel, and that same guy who was giving the Orioles managers a hard time was at the Denny's front door, burnt down, like, taking pictures.
Oh my
God. He's a busybody.
Yeah. And Ben's like, there's that guy right there. And he's just looking in. So anyway,
people are weird.
It's just interesting people's lives. And we all have different things going on, but oh my gosh. All right. Well, we're up against a break. We'll be right back here on the Fitness Fanatics.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective to safeguard my health. Today, I'm health, but in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at .org. That's healthylincoln.org.
Ready to upgrade your combine with new technology to make your harvest efficient, meaning more money in your pocket? Landmark Implement is here to help find the right line for harvest. When you purchase a pre-owned combine Landmark, you are backed by Landmark's parts and service network, along with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running, reducing downtime. View inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
The Ticket Water Alert.
The Chris Klein, obviously Luke Fickell signed at Wisconsin for cheaper. And I will say this, I think Nebraska overpaid in the open market for Matt Rule. I will also say this, I don't care anymore. If you're Trevor Albert, just get defense. If it costs you a few million a year and it's not going to do anything to your donors or hurt any support, then
you're already pretty much burning money when you fire a coach and still have to pay them despite them not coaching. So what's throwing a couple more bags of
Nebraska
cash on the fire?
taught me with that Scott Frost move. Oh, don't worry about it. The money's there.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talk with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Megan Walker from Nebraska Track and Field. Some kids wish for a family dog. Others wish for a family. Last month, over 100 kids needed a foster family and home. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. On Give to Lincoln Day, Wednesday, May 24th, your gift goes even further. Go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey. 1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible.
Paid for by the CDC, sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 theticket.com.
All right, we're back in. We just have a quick segment here. We ran a little long on our first 2 segments. So I just wanted to get Harrison's thoughts. You know, we're both big Bears fans, and only in the NFL can they have a preview show for the schedule where we're watched
it,
looking all day for leaks and this and that. So Harris, I don't know if you've had a chance to look over the Bears schedule. They open with Green Bay at 3:25 on week 1. So any thoughts on the Bears schedule if you've had a chance to look at it?
Yeah, no, I got it pulled up right now, and I got mixed feelings. It feels like you're ending and starting with Green Bay, which is always a treat. But I mean, early on, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, you got some teams in there that, like, I feel like if you're the Bears, you're playing Green Bay right off the bat. No Rodgers anymore.
Right. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Don't you kind of feel like if the Bears lose, it's just we're cursed?
I'm not going to feel good. I'm not going to feel good.
Like the first game the Bears have played the Packers without Favre or Rodgers in like 30 some years. They can't lose it.
My
so
biggest
much
fear,
pressure in Chicago.
If Love, he comes out there, or Jordan Love comes out there and he
lights it up.
If he dominates us and he does the same thing Rodgers does.
Oh,
says,
the belt.
I own you.
Oh, it's just
I'm like, no, we're not doing another 10. However long, I'm just done.
Yeah.
We're gonna be Googling 2024 mock draft instantly. At about 6:30 on week 1.
It's
mock
just
draft
Fields time. It's
and it
Fields
could go
time to
either
own
way.
Green Bay.
It literally can go either way. I'm kind of stressed out about that being the first game.
But then you got the Buccaneers. Again, not
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, not as scary. Mm-hmm. And then your Kansas City Chiefs. That's always going to be not fun.
It's what it is.
But then you got Denver.
Yeah, at home. That's could be a win.
Mm-hmm. And then you're looking at, and then you got the Washington Commanders.
Got that.
Yeah. Then you're looking at the Vikings. Never know. Jimmy G.
Jimmy
G.
Excuse
me, not Jimmy G.
Kirk
Cousins. Yeah. I'm thinking of what's his gold chain nickname? I was thinking of his nickname.
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh.
I don't pay too much attention to those.
We got gold chain Kirk Cousins. Yeah. And then you got then you go into the Raiders again. Like, it doesn't look too brutal at the beginning. If you can pick up some momentum early on here, like the schedule really is
a little later. It gets
tough.
tougher. Like you got you're playing the AFC West. You got the Chargers at the Chargers, at the Chiefs. So you do have some tough games in there. But that NFC North is a division that 9-8 can win. Right? You don't have to go 13-4, 12-5. And I'm so happy that the Lions open up in Arrowhead because I'm already sick of all this Lions talk about, they're just going to be incredible. And I know Nick's a big Lions fan, but you know what?
Let them have their time.
You have your time right now, but you're opening up in Arrowhead. Time to play with the big boys, and let's see what you got.
You realize that completely is a knock on you, on the Bears. Like, oh, you have to play a harder team.
We're playing a team
outside of your
that
division.
beat us 40 out of the last 45 games,
I
or
know.
50 out of the last 60, or
I
whatever.
know.
So,
And from text line, the OG CJ says Denver will definitely beat the Bears. I just don't know what you're putting that faith on if you watched them last season. But you know what? Everyone's hopeful right now.
Yep.
But again, if you guys want to join the show, start our Heyman text line 402-464-5685. You can watch the streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and Allo channel 951. Tons of ways to engage in the show, but we got to already get out of here. We're up to our break. So this is Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. We'll be back right after this break.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group home training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding for supporting people with disabilities, you can check the positions along with more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It's his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Don't let biased algorithms or degree screens or exclusive or stereotypes, don't let anything keep you from discovering the half of the workforce who are stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time to tear the paper ceiling and see the stars beyond it. Find out how you can make stars part of your talent strategy at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Good times and great savings when you take advantage of the above-ground swimming pool sale happening now at Bonsall Pool and Spa. All in-stock swimming pools are 50% off through the end of May while supplies last. You don't want to miss out on this hot deal. Visit our showroom at 33rd and Pioneers today. Learn more about the promotion at bonsallpool.com. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at the Ticket FM on the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, a Goodyear General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's efforts. It's the entire dealership. sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 from the dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. You're thinking of finishing your high school diploma? You have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essing.
All right, I'm back into the Fitness Fanatics. If you have any questions for us over the next hour, please feel free to text the show at 402-464-5685 on the Starter Heyman text line.
Did you just said that out off the top of your head?
You know how many times I've heard that number in the last 6 years listening to the ticket every single day of my life?
I know.
Yeah. Oh, I got it memorized.
I know. You didn't even.
I couldn't tell you what our kids' phone numbers are.
No.
Like if you said, what's your daughter's phone number? I'd have to look in my phone. But you give me the ticket number and bam, there it is. I know what that number is.
I know. That was impressive.
We did have a couple texts over the break. Our one from Crowbait says Casey overrated.
I think
a lot of that's just anger.
I don't think that means what you think it means, overrated.
But we'll see. I'm planning on going to the Bears Chiefs game. One of my best friends, my best friend is a big Chiefs fan. He's been his whole life, so I can verify that. Been through all the ups and downs and the last second losses, the playoff choking and all that stuff over the last 40 years. But so I believe we're going to go together. And I thought about making a shirt, like wear a Bears color shirt that has like a C on the front and then 15 on the back, which is Mahomes' number, and say you're welcome on the back. And I also feel like as a Bears fan going to Arrowhead, I should be getting free beer. Anything I want to eat, like anything that a Bears fan wants at Arrowhead should be on the house. Like everything.
It wasn't your choice to not take Mahomes.
No, but on my everything should be free for me when I go to Arrowhead
Stadium. You should
Stadium.
get a key to the city.
Yes, I do actually. I think the Bears fans should have key to the city because without the Bears, Mahomes wouldn't be in Kansas City.
I was there last year. You don't get that treatment. I was there it was Denver and the Chiefs.
But as my buddy says, we don't really have there's no rivalry between the Bears and the Chiefs, right? Denver, San Diego.
You have to be good to start those, unfortunately.
Yeah, right.
For a lot of them.
And I feel like nobody should have any animosity towards me as a Bears fan in Kansas City. They should be patting me on the back, shaking my hand, taking pictures with me. Thank you.
Move on.
All right, let's move on. Okay, so we did the Lincoln Half Marathon last Sunday. That's why we didn't have a show. Harris, we had a little thing to see if I could beat Harrison's friend who was doing the full marathon. I was doing the half marathon.
Yeah, I got the time here.
My time was 2 hours, 53 minutes, and like 15 seconds.
So you beat him you were good. You had a half an hour on him.
Oh, nice. Good job.
So the qualifying time for the Boston Marathon, for run a full marathon, you got to be under 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
3 hours.
I keep saying that.
3 minutes.
3 hours, 30 minutes. And he would finish, the guy I'm talking about, Max, he would finish 3 hours and 21 minutes. So he made it with 9 minutes to spare. So I got to get in touch with him, see if he's going to do the Boston Marathon.
Is the Lincoln isn't there only certain races that are Boston qualifiers? Is Lincoln one of them? I mean, I'm sure if he was planning on it and that was his goal, it probably is. I don't know.
It might be.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'd have to double check,
Yeah.
unless it's like you
If
have
that was
to
his
get a
goal.
time
Maybe.
to then go into one of the qualifying events.
Maybe.
So
I don't
maybe
know.
that's what the deal is.
Yeah.
I'll have to get in touch with him, but could be a teaser
I-
for possibly having him on here at some point.
Yeah.
Do you
that's
think the
not-
Boston Marathon would be impressed with my 2 hour and 53-minute half marathon time?
I mean,
They would clap as you cross the finish line.
they would do a heartwarming story of overcoming adversities.
In fact, when I
Cross
at the
that
Lincoln
finish line.
Lincoln half, when you get down to the end, you can go left for the full or right to finish, and the full was blocked off. Like, so I would have missed the cutoff time. Like,
I don't think. Are
no,
you
it was
sure?
blocked off.
Oh.
3:15 was the time.
Oh, because you didn't start
Yeah,
at
we
the
s-
gun.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
And usually, I guess if you're doing the marathon, you're probably not going to start in the last group, right? You're probably going to start close to the front. So
Maybe.
they had it blocked off. So if I was doing the full marathon, they would have said,
Nope, you're done.
"Sorry, you need to go finish the half," because they didn't want to be out there till 3 p.m.
Yeah.
keeping tabs on.
I'm
me.
pretty sure anybody doing the full was not how their day was planning to go if they were, at that point.
Well,
So,
then I got done and I was texting my buddy Mike, who lives up in Washington, and we've done 2 full marathons together. So I texted him. I said, "Hey, I just got this done. I sent my time was 2:53," and I'm like, then I took a screenshot of my run keeper of that marathon in Bellingham, and I'm like, how did we possibly do this? Like, the way I felt after doing a half, and he was like,
you didn't train.
he's
for
like,
this one.
I have no idea. He's like, I couldn't even run a 5K right now. But like, yeah. So I just look at those 26-mile runs on my run keeper and like, how in the heck did I do that? It was just, I don't know.
You
It was
didn't
crazy.
train very well for this race.
I didn't. I felt pretty
know.
good. I mean,
Did you get a runner's high at some point?
I do not get runner's high.
Really?
No.
The only time I get a runner's high is when I cross the finish.
I think that's true for most people. You don't really feel it during the running. It's more when you're done. It's the
I don't.
accomplishment.
People are like, "Oh, start slow. You'll finish fast." No, I don't. I finish slow regardless.
I always thought the runner's high is when like you're unconscious with your movement. Like you've hit your stride so well that you're not even thinking about it. You're just a machine at that point.
Maybe the real runners get that, but I am not a legit runner, so I
Maybe.
don't get that.
Got some big runs under the belt though.
I do have some big runs.
Not a competitive runner. You
Right.
can put it that way.
I had that feeling the year that I PR'd the halvesy because I was planning on doing a run walk, like 9-minute run, 1-minute walk, 4 minutes, and then 1 minute. But I felt really good out at the start. I was running really fast, and so I ran the first 5 miles before I started my run walk, and maybe I felt that at that point. 'Cause I was like, I'm banking time because I was doing so much better than I expected.
It was so cold that maybe we just couldn't feel our fingers and
I don't
toes,
remember
and we
it
just
being
lost
cold.
consciousness.
It was
cold.
bad.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
2020 is when we did it.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
2020,
Yeah.
and then 21 was the rainy year.
It was a couple bad ones in a row.
Yeah.
In 2021, we had to stop.
We
and
got pulled off the course because of the rain.
which
and
everybody's like,
lightning.
all right, that's fine.
Darn it.
Yeah.
But we are signed up for the halvesy.
Yep, we're signed up for the halvesy. Mark also did the half marathon.
Mhm.
He it was funny. He tweeted that he's done 2 halves in his life, and he said he feels like those were the 2 times he was in the best shape of his life. So he did the halvesy like 6 years ago. His time was like 2:50, 2:48. His half marathon was like 2:15.
Yeah, last Sunday.
So he
Yep.
he had a PR by over a half hour. So
Yeah.
he really did good.
Mhm.
So we're doing the half. We're signed up for the halvesy. Also, we're going to be talking about this a lot on our show over the next couple months. We are going to we have a private Facebook group for the Fitness Fanatics and Ferals for the Husker 5K that's coming up July 16th.
Mhm.
We're going to do some training runs. So we're going to start getting some more information out to our listeners. It's probably starting within the next week or so. We'll do like maybe 3 or 4 week training plan. A lot of people from our gym will be doing it. So we'd love as many ticket listeners to join us as well.
For the 5K.
For the
in
5K,
July,
yes.
the Husker Road Race.
Husker Road Race.
So even if you've never been a runner, we're going to have some training plans available with some strength training workouts. It'll all be free. Just join our group and you can walk. We'll have different plans, beginner plans, I mean, advanced people, they don't need to necessarily fall. They'll have their own plan for a 5K, but it's 3 miles. It's very doable for anybody, especially you only need about 4 or 5 weeks to kind of prepare for it. I would say what I would recommend if you're thinking about it, go out and map out somewhere like a half a mile around your house or whatever, and out and back, half a mile out, half a mile back in, and just walk it. See how long it takes you. Give yourself an idea of what 1 mile can do on nothing, no training. And then worst case scenario, you walk a whole 5K, you're still going to get done within, an hour or so. If you're walking a 20-minute mile, I mean, that's
right.
That's very doable.
If you've never done one, this should be your first. Like,
you've never done the road race, right, Harrison?
Okay, so Harrison will probably have to work.
I know,
but
I know.
The road race is this year. You start inside Memorial Stadium, and then you finish inside Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
So pretty much almost all the ticket listeners are Husker fans, I would say. So if you've never done a 5K and you're like, oh, you've always wanted to do one, this is the one to do just because of the atmosphere.
Honestly, even if you're not a Husker fan, just a football fan, like it's really cool.
Yeah,
like
still historical stadium.
Yeah,
to go
you
to.
get to be like on the field. The players are there. Like it's
all the players
really
are there,
cool.
coaches. There's been years where the volleyball team's there. Last year, the basketball team was there. Nicole took a selfie with Coach Hoiberg.
They were at a water stop.
We took a picture with Casey Thompson. Like the players are very like, oh yeah, you know what? They'll take pictures. They sign footballs. I mean, jerseys. It's just it's an awesome experience. It's so much better than the fan day where you have to stand and wait for hours, and you're benefiting the cause. Pediatric brain cancer research. At the end of June, we're going to have a couple football players in studio with us to talk about the road race. Last year we had Kirk Henrich and Ramir Johnson were in here. So it was cool for us as when we're down there walking around, like Ramir Johnson knows who we are. So it's like, hey guys, or Norden Newelly, knows who we are.
Yeah.
Banks knew who we were like, hey, we saw him out on the course. So that's pretty cool. So be on the lookout for that. We'll share that next week as
We're
we
still
amp
formulating
up.
some stuff.
Yep,
to get
still
it
formulating,
ready.
but we'd love as many ticket listeners to join us, Fitness Fanatics, down there on July 16th. So mark your calendars. If you have kids, they have a 1 mile fun run. And if your kid's a Husker fan, like if I would have been 7-year-old, 8-year-old, well, I was at one point, but had my dad taken me to one of these when I was 8, and I got to meet all the football players when I was 8 years old and got autographs and my picture taken, that would have been the coolest thing that I had ever done.
And I'm sure Matt Rule will be there.
Oh, I'm sure.
100%.
Right. Yeah. Yes. So
and I'm going to be
I would
nosing
shocked
around
if he
trying to
wasn't.
find Corey Campbell to come on our show and stuff like that. So I'm going to be down there recruiting myself to get some people.
If you
to come
got
on the show.
Campbell, that'd be cool.
Well, now if he's listening, I have emailed him 3 times to come on the show. So Coach Campbell, if you're listening,
Oh, geez.
we would
That's
love
funny.
to have you come on and talk about health and wellness
Yeah.
and the Nebraska student athletes. So,
Mhm.
but I have reached out.
Okay.
I'm going to find him at this road
But
race. and
Harrison,
talk
you
to him.
might want to put in the time, the day to get it off so you can come down and do the 5K with us too.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Take a Sunday off.
Yeah.
It'd be- sorry
go
to my
run a
mom for not being
5K.
home for Mother's Day,
Yeah.
but Sunday,
Right?
it's not a national holiday, so I
Right.
got to be here.
Yeah.
Mother's Day, you're working Husker football road race. You probably need to get the
It's
day
also
off.
the day after your birthday, Jeff. So you'll be a year older magically
Yep,
the next
I'll be
day.
I'll
and-
be 45 July 15th, and then July 16th we'll be doing the 5K.
It's-
I'll be getting the 45 glasses. Have
so
you looked
fun.
at those yet? I know we talked about that. With
40
the eyesight?
Oh,
Call
I,
them
no, I
45?
have not got my eyes checked yet.
Okay.
So
just
On my
just looking
to-do
out
list.
for you.
On
Yeah.
my to-do list, yes.
highly recommend you check out the road race. And don't we have a team?
Yes, we have a team where right now it's FXB Lincoln. So if you go to the huskers.com, there's a sign up that you can go register for the 5K. So if you just look up team name FXB Lincoln, I'll probably change that to Fitness Fanatics, FXB
Okay.
Lincoln, but FXB Lincoln is our team name. So when you register for that, I will get notified that we have an entrance. So when we do that, then we'll send you an invite to the Facebook group as well. So
and if you're not on Facebook, we'll figure out
Yeah.
a way to get we'll figure out a way to get information out to everybody too. And it's just like I said, we'll just have a training plan. You'll follow most of it on your own. But then we'll coordinate some group runs too, so we can all get together and do some runs together. And again, you can walk the whole thing, you can walk the whole thing, you can run the whole thing. It's all fitness levels. And if you just spend a little bit of time training for it, it'll be a fun event, a cool day, and then you'll get to say that you completed a 5K. So
and meet some Husker football players
Mhm.
while you're down there. So
Mhm.
when we're all excited, so July's the time to be
know.
excited. So
Yeah.
all right, well, let's transition gears here. It is
Should we
Mother's
just take
Day.
a break right now?
Yeah,
and
let's
then-
take a break a little early, and then we'll talk to Nicole about mothers, being a mother, putting herself first every once in a while, and have her give some advice to all the moms out there listening today. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 50 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future. Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Just a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters.
or a mother in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner. Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat. Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Old School with DP and J.
You could say that, I don't mess with coach. I was asking, do you want to play pro? 99 or 100, say yeah.
There you go.
If you think that you're going to go to the NFL and you think every coach you play for is going to be hunky-dory with you, don't even play. Let alone flip it. If you think every coach is going to like you sadly mistaken.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'm
Chris Jackamick, in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is "My job is people, everyone is my business." But unfortunately, in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackamick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. All your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to our Mother's Day show. Had a lot of fun here the first 90 minutes. Now we're going to talk to our resident mother.
Yeah.
Who has her own show on the ticket. Nicole, happy Mother's Day for me to you.
Thanks.
Before we get to you talking, I do want to say kind of one of the cool things about Nicole as a mom.
Whoa, what is this?
No, this is put you on the
genuine
spot. But so one of the things that she did a lot with our daughter growing up was take her to concerts. Like concerts to bands that she probably just doesn't listen to. Like, like let's give some examples.
Sleeping with Sirens.
Okay.
Like you're going to concerts you don't know, or you're taking her to concerts she doesn't know?
She likes them.
Okay,
and
so
I'm
you're
going.
making the sacrifice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like being down on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh.
In the pits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of
right.
like emo.
Yes. This is what.
Some scream.
Right.
Screamo music.
Screaming.
Yes.
Where she's more country.
I like all types of music,
Right.
and honestly, it is. Anytime you can see live music, you're gonna have a good time. So but some of those were tough.
Like Black Veil Brides. I don't know if
Yes.
you've heard of some
No,
of these.
some of these are even. I mean, how old is she now?
20.
20.
Yeah, I'm only 24.
Yeah. Yep.
Kind of going over my
What
head
else?
still.
What all
Yeah.
other concerts?
I
Like,
don't
just
know.
bands that I've never even
Yeah.
heard of,
Just
like,
yeah.
probably something that I wouldn't sacrifice.
You
to do.
100% would not.
Like, so I would be like, no,
No.
I'm not taking you to this. Like our son likes,
It's just on my Facebook.
he likes some
memories
crazy
today.
music too that I don't even
Spider
never,
Gang.
I've never even heard of these people.
Yeah.
Like I would not take him
Nope.
to a Spider Gang concert. Now, if Spider Gang came to Lincoln, you know who probably would take him?
I
She
would. Yes, I would.
So, I'm kind of like,
was trying to see
I
what
took,
concert.
growing up, I took Katie to Husker games. Like we drove over so I'm like the sports person, right? Like I've taken Ben to baseball games and we've gone to some road football games and,
you
that
have
type of
mutual
thing.
interest in that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes,
Because,
yeah. That's the
I'm not one to like, I'm kind of a selfish person. I mean, I am like,
That's an understatement.
I don't have any desire to go stand in a mosh pit
That's the thing.
and
okay.
have people jump on
Right.
me.
That's the thing. So it is 5 years ago. Katie and I went to a Black Veil Brides concert in Omaha. It's on my memories today. We went to it, and first of all, if you ever wanted to get to in like a general admission, get to the front row, take Katie with you because she was always like this tiny, quiet little girl, but she could find her way to the front, and we'd have to be in the front, and then people are always trying to like get you out of your spot and stuff. And she was the best at just like bracing herself
Wouldn't
and
move.
just would not move. It was incredible. And so that was always kind of fun to see. But yeah, some heavier music.
Yep.
all general admission. One time, her favorite, the lead singer of Black Veil Brides, kind of went on his own. Andy Black went on his own, and we went to Omaha to see him. We bought VIP tickets to meet him. We had to stand outside in like 100-degree weather for like 2 hours to go in and meet him. I'm surrounded by all these like teenage girls, and I am just sweating profusely. And they're all just fresh little daisies because they're, little kids, not little kids, but teenagers. Meet Andy, have to go back outside to get in line again for general admission to come back into the concert. So yeah, it was worth it. She loves music now.
So I just wanted to shout that out to Nicole on Mother's Day. That's
was
something
worth it.
I always thought was really cool. And she's starting to take Ben to some concerts. He likes country music too. So they've seen Thomas Rhett. They've seen Sam Hunt. They went to the State Fair. Probably going to go see Morgan Wallen here.
Hopefully we don't have tickets
into September. And I asked Ben, I said, now, would you rather watch the Husker Colorado game or go see Morgan Wallen? And he wants to go see Morgan Wallen.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. Yep.
So that one had to hurt.
Right,
that one had to hit you in the heart.
Oh, it was bad.
It was a little shocking.
Now, he did say if they were here, it'd be different.
Yeah, if it was, that's
we
true.
were going to the game, but they're playing on the road, and it's just like you can follow along with the game on his phone at the concert.
Yeah.
You can't really follow along with a concert if you're watching.
I kind of like the road games though, because it gives you a chance to like see the other team's atmospheres. And then, I mean, if you're going to Colorado,
well, we're not going there. We're going to try to go to Minnesota. Is what our goal is. But no, I'm just mean like not go to the game, but just watch it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see.
Yeah. But he was going to miss that. It's probably going to be at night. So he's going to miss that game to go to a concert.
If we go, we haven't quite decided yet.
Is. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it'll be rescheduled too. We don't really know.
Yeah.
At this point, but anyway, so just to shout out to Nicole,
Thanks.
It's something I always thought was really cool because I wouldn't sacrifice my time to do that.
It is brutal.
Right.
I remember
But she has.
going to an
Lots.
Odessa concert, and if you like, Odessa's kind of like EDM. It's light shows. It's very crazy. And we got there. We were the first ones in line. Like you said, if you are the first one, you're in the front.
Yeah, you can't move.
You
You're
got to
done.
hold your ground.
Yeah, you
like,
really
there's
do.
so many people. Like, I won't say what people are like. People are offering you things, just trying to get you off, and it's like, hey, we'll give you. And it's like, no, I'm not moving.
Nope. You can't go to the bathroom.
No.
You can't.
You're
leave
committed.
Your spot. Yeah.
And
that's
she's
not me.
like, when we were doing that, she was probably like 13, 14, 15 years old. So I'm not leaving her to go to, like, I'm just there for the duration.
But now she's 20 and she goes to her own concerts.
Yeah, she's gotten to
and
some of her own now. So that's good.
Which one did they just go to downtown?
I don't remember. I can't think of what it was. A very hard, screamy group. It was very moshy.
But now she doesn't have to go now because she
I've been in some mosh pits. I can hold my own.
I'll never forget my friend. There's this she's attractive female, and one of my friend, he's in the front, and she's like, oh, can I headbang up front with you? And he's like, yeah. He moves out of the way, she takes his spot, and then doesn't make room for him.
Nope.
And then he's just standing behind her, and he's like, well, I just got played.
Yep.
So it's you got to be witty. And how is she? How short is she?
She's probably 5'7". She's just I mean,
Good for her.
She's just like real quiet, so she just doesn't take up a lot of room because she's quiet in general. But
sneak in
there. It was. I mean, I've seen some. They're good concerts. I don't know. I like concerts. You don't really like concerts, but
the last concert I went to, I was just like, my back hurts. This is so loud. I need to be asleep right now. I just say, now I'm just an old person that, I don't know. I like to sit down and just.
Yeah, you can't sit down if you go to a concert with Katie.
No, I know. You have to be up front standing.
That's the rule.
But see, I did take her to one concert, but it was for me.
Metallica.
Seen Metallica twice.
Right.
So we drove to Minneapolis and we've seen Metallica when they were in Minneapolis and then here in Lincoln. But
what was her review? Did she like it?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
She loves, I mean, she likes a very, very wide variety of music.
Just a music fan in general.
Yes.
Same with our son too.
She had a New Kids on the Block song stuck in her head the other day because that's what she was listening to in her car on the way home. So she has very, very varied music interests, and I take credit for that because I listen to all different types of music too. So,
Great
she's
memories.
found some stuff on her own, and I've introduced her to some stuff too. So,
and hopefully when, she has kids and they get older, she'll be like, well, your grandma took me to,
Mhm.
you got to creating those stories and stuff. So,
yeah.
all right, well, let's
Yep.
get to taking care of yourself as a mom.
Okay.
So we have 2 kids. I mean, they pretty much take care of themselves now. But you did work out and take care of yourself when they were younger. So why don't you kind of, I'll leave the floor to you, just to give moms that are out there listening, really want to touch on taking time for themselves and why that is important.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, because I've been on my fitness journey for 16 years now. And so when I started Farrell's was really the start of my fitness journey. I was 27, 26 when I started Farrell's. And I hadn't really been active before then. I played sports very poorly in high school, just not very well and not competitive enough to really get into team sports. And so I really was not physically active besides the random infomercial things that maybe you had bought.
Bow flexes,
No.
those types of things. Yeah.
So anyway, I started Farrell's when Ben was like 5 months old. I started it with some friends, and this is how I like to talk about my fitness journey, because in that span of 16 years now, which is really easy to remember because it's how old Ben is, but the reasons why I've stayed active have changed a lot over those 15 years. And so when I started Farrell's 16 years, I should say 16 years ago, this session was my session. I was a stay-at-home mom, and it is hard. Being a stay-at-home mom is the hardest job in the world. Like, mentally, it was so hard. I went from being in an office environment to being at home with a toddler and a newborn, and you really can lose yourself very easily in that environment. It's very difficult mentally. You think it's going to be amazing. You get to be home.
And guys, you think it's going to be amazing too. Like,
Right.
you're going to come home and just dinner's on the table and laundry's done and the house is clean. And I
No.
learned very quickly
That's not what it's like.
to not expect that.
Yeah.
So
It's so hard. It's so hard. And so I started Farrell's really just to get out of the house, to see my friends that I had worked with for years.
well, like you said, to talk to adults.
Yeah, to talk to adults. And the other hard thing was Jeff was in a family business. So when we would have family get-togethers, they would all be talking business, and I felt like I didn't have a voice because I'm just a stay-at-home mom. That's how it works in your brain. You just feel like you're not contributing to anything other than the very important task of raising your
The
children.
kids.
Right.
You only take care of the kids.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's all.
Right. I'm just saying it's mentally so difficult to be a stay-at-home mom. And so that's why I started Farrell's, was really just to, and I needed to lose weight. I was struggling to go up the stairs and being out of breath, and I was still in my 20s, and just realizing that that's not probably what, that's not a good path to go down. But I really did, just to get that time with my friends. I started with 2 friends, and I got to see them every day. I went from seeing them every day at work to like not seeing them at all. And then now I got to see them again every day. So that was it saved me mentally 100%. It also, and continued to have us, now this is our career. And then as the time went, it became a time for me. It became a time to help other people. And then about 5 or 6 years in, our daughter is getting older. She's 7, 8 years old. And then you start to realize how important it is, especially, I mean, boys too, but with being a mom and having a daughter, how important it is to build up their self-esteem by taking care of myself. I had to take care of myself to help be a good example for her. And so that was for a long time, part of it, being a great example for my kids, showing them how to, exercise and make time for yourself and cook healthy food. And so that time was really important to me because Katie saw me exercising. Ben saw us exercising. Ben grew up at Farrell's. Like, I was an instructor, and I would bring him to class at 10 months old and put him in a pack and play in front of the class and teach the class. And he would just like lean over and just watch people. Like they've grown up around fitness.
Mm-hmm.
I never once ever saw my parents exercise ever.
Same
Right.
Like, never one time.
No, I know. Other than like hard work, like yard work,
Right,
stuff like
right.
that. But they never exercised. We never talked about food as fuel for your body. I've talked about this on the show. I knew the things that my mom hated about her body. I knew what she didn't like about herself. And I didn't want that for her, for Katie. So I'm pretty proud of that. She's 20 now. She has the same struggles as we all do, balancing getting her workouts in. She has a hard time eating right if she's not exercising. She gets thrown off her course pretty easily, but I feel like she has such a safe environment at home where she knows that it's okay to have those mistakes and we're not going to shame her. We're not going to give her a hard time. Well, you do. You shame her when she brings crumble cookies home multiple times a week, but
And usually
that's more for you.
Usually, like when I am eating healthy, I am on a high horse.
Yeah.
Like I am just you
unbearable.
You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. Why are you bringing this in here? Like I am Mr. High Horse.
Had a little meltdown yesterday about the s'mores Oreos being in the house.
She brings in s'mores Oreos cookies, which are my favorite. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I didn't have one.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so that's really, and now they're getting older and they don't need us. Like I jokingly call our kids house plants now. They're like house plants. You just kind of keep them watered and kind of take care of themselves. Right.
Like a succulent, just
very
bare minimal.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, they're pretty self-sufficient. And so they're kind of house plants now. And so we're just there to take them if they need to go somewhere or do something. But now it's time to kind of be back to myself and finding goals for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had fitness throughout that entire time and lots of things have changed. I've had injuries, I've gained weight, I've lost weight, but it's still a matter of making that priority to the point now where I cannot imagine it not being a part of my life. Exercise, fitness, like that would be difficult for me to have to not exercise.
Well, and I think too for like moms and what I tell our members is like it's so important because as a mom, your whole life basically is giving, right? You give, you give, you give, you give, you give. You give to your spouse, you give to your significant other, you're giving to your parents, you're giving to your kids, you're giving to your job. You're just, you're always putting yourself last typically.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk to moms that go to our gym is like, just talking to Megan yesterday, she's a super fan. So shout out to her, Megan Posey.
Yeah.
Her 1 hour, she has 1 hour in the day where she does not have her phone. Nobody's asking her to get something.
Mm-hmm.
I need this. I need that. Can you do this? Can you do that? So she has 1 hour where she comes to Farrell's. That's all about her focusing on her, not only her, how she feels physically, but mentally as well. And I've always said like working out isn't just about looking good in the mirror, right?
Yeah.
It does so much more for making you a better mother, father, spouse, aunt, uncle, employee, boss. Because when you're feeling good about yourself, like physically and emotionally, that translates into everything else in your life. So just having that 1 hour focusing on you, even for you when you work out in the gym, like if you don't instruct, because when you're instructing, you're still about giving to others, right? Because we're teaching our members and we're instructing our members and we're trying to push our members, to hit their level 10. But when you just get a workout and somebody else is teaching, that's your hour where you're not giving to anybody, but yourself. Right?
Yeah, it's important. It's a very important part of my day. I'm just going to tell a story real quick because we haven't talked about this, but I'm sure you didn't notice this, but our son had a band concert last week or this week.
Yeah, I
past week.
noticed. I was there.
No, I know.
Okay.
I don't think you noticed the mom that was sitting one row in front of us and off to more onto my side. And she was there, bless her heart, because it was a mom and she was there with like 3 or 4 kids, and 2 of them were really pretty small still. And throughout the 2 hours,
yeah.
throughout the 2 hours that we were sitting watching this high school band concert, that woman did not have a second of peace. I mean, at one point she had 2 kids climbing on her. One was sitting on her lap. The other one was standing on the chair, hanging over her. And like, I don't think that fathers necessarily understand the amount of like physical touch that mothers have to really do. I've never seen a dad where their children are just like on them constantly,
Climbing
like
on them.
Like
right.
a jungle gym.
Yes, yeah, during a concert, like a band concert. And I mean, and she was just, it was just, that was her life, you know, she was used to it. And so that is why it's important to find that time for yourself. If you can do it with a friend, it's even better, because then you get to see your friend for an hour, for 45 minutes a day too. So I just don't think that maybe sometimes dads quite understand that, how much just how much kids really try to suck the life out of you.
Well, and
especially when they're younger.
and speaking as a dad, you know, and a husband, and I know. So here's some good advice for all the guys listening. So Nicole did her first 10-week challenge, which would have been in like 2004 or 5 area.
Oh, I did one and I didn't finish it. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't a very supportive spouse. No, like I didn't say like, oh, I don't want you to go. Because, you know, I'll tell you, we do see situations at Farrell's when we have ladies start and they don't have supportive situations at home and they quit.
Yeah, it's hard.
Which is really sad to me.
Yeah.
But I was there. I was one of those supportive, not unsupportive spouses. Not meaning like I didn't want her to work out.
Yeah.
But as far as
you had to watch Katie on Saturday mornings.
Yep. You know,
while
I had to watch the child.
Oh my gosh.
But as far as like, you know, I want pizza.
Yeah.
It wasn't supportive nutrition wise. Right. So I kind of feel like I didn't give her what she needed when she was starting.
So it's your fault that I didn't finish that session.
You know, it partly was my fault because I wasn't supportive.
It wasn't.
So when I started in 2006, like literally within the first week, I think I apologized. Like I can't believe that, because now I was going through it.
Right.
So sore, struggling with food. But I realized in that first week how supportive she was. And then I look back to see how unsupportive I was. And I was like, I am so sorry that I was like that. So guys out there listening, I know we have a member at Farrell's, Sarah, and she just killed her 5-week testing. And I was asked how she heard about us. And, you know, she said, well, my husband listens to the ticket. Very supportive husband. Like she's like, because I always, when I talk to the ladies, I'm like, oh, hopefully he approached the subject gently. Like, you know, like, oh, you need to go work out. I heard about this fitness show on the radio.
Yeah.
Here, maybe you should do this, you know? But she was like, no, he knew I was looking for something, and he heard you guys on the ticket, and very supportive of her. And she had really, really good results after 5 weeks. So, you know, that's a supportive spouse.
That's helpful.
Right?
It is.
Who's like cheering her on and not being
sabotaging
like I was. Like, oh, or you know, sometimes too, and we all can relate to this, when somebody starts something and they want to feel better about themselves, and they start to feel better about themselves, and you're not in that place of wanting to feel better about themselves. There's some jealousy that sets
sometimes
into these. And we've seen all this. Like we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary as Farrell's owners.
Yeah.
So we've dealt with thousands and thousands and thousands of situations, and we've seen everything.
And it's psychology. Like it's not even on purpose. You know, it just, when you have someone that's doing something, it kind of makes you feel like you put a spotlight on. Just like what I was talking about being a stay-at-home mom, you know, when you were talking with your family about the family business, and I would feel like I couldn't contribute because I was just a stay-at-home mom, that was all in my head. That wasn't anything you guys were doing. And it's the same way with the psychology of like feeling less than because someone else is doing, good, and you're maybe not quite ready to commit to that yet. But like their wins, it doesn't diminish that you're not doing anything. So that can be hard, and it's not even intentional sometimes. So it's like, if you are trying to be a supportive friend, spouse, whatever, just don't try not to make their journey about you. That's the biggest thing. Like, their journey of health and fitness does not mean that they're, well, unless except for you, because you in your high horse, but doesn't mean that they're judging you for where you are. They're just trying to get through their journey. So
well,
keep that.
It could be tough too as a mom, when you're trying to eat healthy and you're trying to cook for your kids, and your kids don't want to eat broccoli and chicken all the time. So
it's a hard balance, especially with the nutrition, because you don't, that's when we'll go to break. But on TikTok right now, it's very famous talking about almond moms and how, the moms in the 90s were like, very restrictive with their food. And so you really have to be aware of that too, as a mom, that you're like giving your children balance and healthy habits, and you're not constantly like, I can't eat that, I can't do this, I have to do this. Like, you have to find that balance. So it's
all
hard.
right. Well, we're up against the break. We'll wrap it up here, coming around the corner on the Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disability in 50 years in Lincoln and across Alaska, providing a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a career or mental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
The Ticket Water Cooler.
The Chris Kleiman contract, obviously Luke Fickell signed at Wisconsin for cheaper. And I will say this, I think Nebraska overpaid in the open market for Matt Rule. I will also say this, I don't care anymore. If you're Trev Eldick, believe it. Cost you more million a year, and it's not really going to do anything to your donors or hurt any support, then
You're already pretty much burning money when you fire or pay them, despite them coaching. So let's throw in a couple more bags of
Nebraska
cash on the fire.
taught me with that Scott Frost move. Oh, don't worry about it. The money's there.
Old School with DP and J.
You could say that, I don't mess with coach. I was asking, do you want to play pro? 99 out of 100 say yeah.
There you go.
If you think that you're going to go to the NFL and you think every coach you play for is going to be hunky-dory with you, don't even play. Let alone flip it. If you think every coach is going to like you sadly mistaken.
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits of completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit stoptextsstopwrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Old School with DP and J.
You could say that, I don't mess with coach. I was asking, do you want to play pro? 99 out of 100 say yeah.
There you go.
If you think that you're going to go to the NFL and you think every coach you play for is going to be hunky-dory with you, don't even play. Let alone flip it. If you think every coach is going to like you, you're sadly mistaken.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, well, welcome back in. Last segment here on our Mother's Day episode. So again, want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are out there listening. We're just going to wrap up this last segment. I just want to kind of share a little bit about my mom, what she kind of instilled with me. And the one thing that stuck with me is my parents got divorced when I was 3. So I don't really have any memories of my mom and dad being together, like basically zero memories of us being together. But I could tell you as a kid, so my mom lived by herself. And the one thing that I really got from her growing up, I lived with my dad too, growing up. So didn't actually live with my mom. I saw her on the weekends and stuff, but I'll tell you, the one thing she instilled with me and the one thing that we try to pass on to our kids is work ethic. My mom, when my parents got divorced, she had moved into an apartment. She bought her own house, but she was a waitress. And I remember her telling me this. I could hear her saying this, like she would work. She had 2 jobs. She worked at the Holiday Inn in Des Moines, and then she worked at a restaurant called the Hi-Ho Grill. So she would get up and work.
Which she was my waitress when I was a little kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nicole and her family went to the Hi-Ho Grill after church, and my mom was the waitress. So she remembers my mom waiting on her long before we ever even met.
Yep.
Just kind of a cool story.
Yeah.
But my mom would work. She'd get up and she'd work Monday from like 5 a.m. to 3 a.m. Then she'd work from like 4:30 to 9 p.m. So she'd work Monday morning, Monday night, Tuesday morning, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, Wednesday night. Like literally she worked 7 days a week as a waitress on her feet, 10, 11, 12 hours a day to support herself. So that's the one thing that I took away from her.
Well, what did you remember hearing her say in her
just
voice?
saying Monday night, Tuesday,
okay.
Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And that's our job now. That's what we do.
That's what we do. We're 7 days a week too, but we don't work. Yeah,
no.
We're not on our feet for 12, 13 hours. But so she was single for a long time. My brother lived with her, and she worked all those hours. Very frugal, coupon cutter. Saved when I take her out to lunch and we go to Burger King, she's trying to get the senior discount. And I'm like, Mom, I don't need to save 10 cents on your drink.
Yeah.
It's fine. But
yeah.
So anyway, that's the one thing that we try to instill in our kids. And we kids took Nicole out for Mother's Day yesterday, went to Texas Roadhouse, and our daughter's been in the workforce for 4 years. She's never missed a day of work.
That's impressive.
Never called in. She's never missed a day. Our son will have been at Culver's for a year now in June. Never missed a day. So they have 5 combined years of being in the workforce. They've never missed a day. They are hard workers. They like money. So they like getting those paychecks. Like our daughter she'll work on Christmas, she'll work on Thanksgiving, she'll work like she's working today. She's working till 3:30 today. Our son works 5 to 9 at Culver. So, they work on holidays. They're very hard workers. And I've always, told them like, hey, if you have a good work ethic, you're going to be very successful, even if you don't go to college, right? Because the bosses will notice a work ethic. And when you don't call in for 4 years at your job, they notice that, so that'll take you a long way. So that's kind of want to share that about my mom. And my stepmom, I lived with her from the time I was 5, and she passed away in 2009. So we're going on, it'll be 14 years here in November that she's been gone, raising somebody else's kids. That's always an interesting dynamic, step parents, stepmom, stepdad, stepkids, this and that. But she raised me, and I have a lot of great memories of her with the meals and cooking and stuff like that. And it wasn't until later in life that we got to be good friends later on, which was sad because then she passed away. So didn't really get kind of lost that for the last 14 years. But so I was kind of blessed to have 2 moms, both a little different, took stuff from both of them. So greatly appreciative to those 2 individuals. So I got to make sure I call my mom here later today.
Yep.
So I talked to her. She lives in Des Moines. I won't see her today, but I'll give her a call. Yep. But again, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Next week, we're going to be joined in studio by Des Moines Adams, former Husker football player and current Farrell's member. So we're going to chat with him about Farrell's, his organization he runs, teammates. So please tune in next Sunday from 9 to 11. We'll see you next week. Have a great week. 93.7 The Ticket.